everybody, and welcome to the Canadian Football Podcast. I'm your host, Matty P, and today we have Colonel as our guest once again on the show.
What up, what up?
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, and yourself?
Pretty good. It's a hot day in the peg.
I bet. A lot of mosquitoes or what?
Mosquitoes haven't been too good or too bad this year.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, we got one more preseason game today.
Nice. Who's playing? I was working, I've been so busy. I didn't even play today.
Is it the Saints? And I can't quite remember. The Saints are playing someone.
Yeah, I don't know.
So how you been this summer?
I've been pretty good. Just busy working a lot and just trying to do homework here and get ready for this upcoming season. It's been a crazy one, that's for sure. And yourself?
Yeah, just gearing down for September. It's crazy to say. It feels like just a few months ago we were seeing memes of a player's jersey, like 55 days left till the season. But here we are, like less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's creeping up on a guy really quick.
Yes. What do you? I guess we have a draft coming up this week. Our best ball draft on Thursday. You getting ready for that?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for it. It's I've been listening to a lot of serious readers. I got that fantasy channel. Just trying to get different perspectives on it. The best ball is it's different. Last year's my first year doing it, and it's not easy. It seems simple, just pick players and just set a roster, or they set the roster for you, but it's really not that easy.
Yeah, so this is my first year conducting a best ball league and taking part in one.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be quite interesting to see, I know we all like to, well, not every one of us, but we like to predict the season in advance, and it's kind of one of those situations, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's good. It's good times, and I mean, it's not overly time consuming, but yeah, you get a couple injuries if you don't have enough depth at that certain position, and next thing you don't have enough running backs or whatever it is.
Yeah, it should be interesting now how the season shakes out there.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What do you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense right now?
Myself, I tried in the redraft that I've done so far, trying to get some Pickett stock and Pickens. I'm really liking the way those guys are trending. I think Pickett's going to take a big step this year. The only thing that worries me is their running situation. I like Jalen Warren a lot more than Najee Harris. He's way more efficient. To me, it's almost like that Tony Pollard-Zeke situation where Pollard was the backup before, but, I mean, he did a lot more with his touches. Because, yeah, Najee needs that volume to get the stats. So,
yeah, that's a good comparison, actually. When Pollard slowly started getting touches over the last couple seasons with Zeke there, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, everywhere that I've been drafting Najee, I'll just take Jalen Warren in the later rounds.
Yeah, that's a good call because, I mean, the way running backs are valued or not valued anymore, it's going to get to the point where Najee either gets franchised or they just let him go and Warren's the next man up, I think.
What do you think of that offense and team outside of fantasy? So, like, potentially winning the division.
Outside of fantasy, I like it. I mean, their division, for the division, I mean, you look at their offense, they got good young players. There's no real old guys. I mean, Deontay seems like he's been there forever. He's still relatively young. On defense, they draft well. They got good parts, and yeah, I could see them running with any of those teams there, even the Bengals.
Right now, Pittsburgh is favored the worst or last to win that division right now. It's Cincy at 240, Baltimore Ravens at 325, Cleveland at 475, and Pittsburgh at 575 times the wager.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know Cleveland. Everybody's pretty high on Cleveland and Nick Chubb. I like Nick Chubb, but overall, real game and whatnot, I don't know.
Remember the step that Burrow took, year 1 to year 2.
Yeah,
Like I'm thinking,
yeah.
like Pickett can have like that same step and vault this team, not vault, but just stay in contention, basically for the division lead till the end of the season. And that defense, you know how that defense gets as they warm up.
You're right, man. I wouldn't be surprised because I mean, even last year, look at all the Steelers started, and then what? Down the stretch, they went 7-2 to finish with a winning record. They pick up where they left off last year. They might run away with not run away with the division, but they might win that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so what Pickett has shown so far in the preseason, like touchdown on almost I think 5 or 6 drives or something, or every drive. Basically continuing what they did at the end of last season. And transferring, hopefully this all transfers to game 1, game 2, game 3, right?
Yeah, I could see that, and they got that tight end. I can't remember his name. He's from Georgia, and
Are you
talking?
talking? Yeah, Pat Fryermuth.
Yeah, but there's another tight end. Well, if they want to run 2 tight end sets down in the red zone, like, oh, watch out, you know.
I know. So Pat on one side, the rookie tight end on the other side. You got a couple running backs there if you want. You got Pickens on the right. You got Deontay in the slot. Like, it's going to get... And Pickett himself can, like, just run it in. He's got some legs.
He does, yeah. And I was listening, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I was listening to a guy talking, and he said Deontay Johnson not having a touchdown last year is crazy for the rest of his stats. If he had just even, I think it was 5 or 6 touchdowns, he's a top 15 wide receiver.
Yeah, in most of my drafts now, I'm grabbing at least Johnson or Pickens. I think, like, well, obviously, you know, I'm high on this offense, so I'm definitely grabbing. And Pat Fryermuth, if you can get him even like as your tight end 1 in the later rounds, like 7th, 6th round, 8th round, like that is a beautiful way to draft your team, I think, as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, after a couple tight ends in Kelsey and maybe 1 or 2 other guys, it's a crapshoot. I mean, every year there's going to be a couple guys that take that next step to the next tier. It's just a matter of finding that person, right?
Exactly. Are you? I've been going back and forth between the Bills and the Jets to win the division, but I'm kind of leaning towards the Bills now, and they are paying $220. Jets are paying $340. Dolphins are paying $4, and the Patriots are paying 9 times the wager.
Patriots are paying 9. Wow.
I'm not messing with the Patriots, but I was initially thinking of leaning towards the Jets and future Hall of Famer quarterback, but there could be some sneaky value with taking Buffalo at $220.
Yeah, I'd lean that way because I look at the Jets. I mean, on paper they got a great team, but sometimes when you throw a bunch of guys together, they don't gel. Like, I guess Randall Cobb was telling the other Jets receivers, I mean, how it's going to be with Rodgers at the helm. And these young guys nowadays, it's either they take it or leave it. Either they follow or they don't, and it causes a big headache. And, yeah, you see how guys gel or guys don't gel. And sometimes teams assemble super teams on paper, and it turns out horrible. I mean, the Eagles a few years ago, I can't remember all the players that they grabbed out of free agency, and it was just a nightmare season. So
I guess a lot of it might come down to whether Buffalo can develop and sustain a running game.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's going to be James Cook, and then when they get in close, it's going to be Damian Harris just pounding the ball in. So, I mean, that might be the way.
Yeah, like I definitely like James Cook has a lot to prove still, but I definitely like the Jets running back room a little better. You got Dalvin Cook, you got a rehabbing Breece Hall. I think he's going to be ready, and then you even have Michael Carter as your third string running back. Like, he's capable as well.
Yeah, I really like Michael Carter, and he's pretty forgotten about that he's there. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. An interesting division. It's either going to be really close or it's going to be blown apart. I don't know what Miami's doing. In preseason, I haven't really seen too much from them. Mostert's great, but we all know what happens with him. By week 4 or 5, he's torn something. So.
If they can land Jonathan Taylor, it would make me ponder maybe throwing Miami on a division-winning ticket.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think that they're going to be able to land him by the self-imposed Tuesday deadline, or
Is that when it is?
the Colts? I think they gave Taylor till Tuesday to find a team. Yeah.
You're right. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, there's so many different things that could happen. So many different scenarios that could happen with the JT situation. He could not find a trade market for him, and then he's almost like forced to like put his tail between his legs and try and show up for week 1 with the Colts.
Yeah, kind of like a Josh Jacobs situation earlier, right?
Good on Josh getting a deal up to $12 million with incentives.
Yeah, but it's scary. I mean, he goes out there and he tears a knee, and like that's it. I get where the running backs are coming from. Like they take so much wear and tear, but I mean, a contract's a contract. It's so tough. And then the team saying, "Yeah, go out and check the market." Well, the owners are kind of in collusion, so the owners are the market.
Yeah, it's a shitty scenario or shitty time for running backs getting no respect whatsoever from the owners.
Yeah, and what's going to go on is a lot of players coming up aren't going to want to play running back, and it's going to totally change that position in football.
Who is going to win the NFC North?
The NFC North. I don't know. I have this feeling that like Green Bay is going to pull it out. There's just something about Love that I like the way they brought him along. It's almost like how they brought along Rodgers, and just
I am with you. Like that, there could be something special brewing there. They got a great coach. They got a great fan base that has almost always been gifted a quarterback, right? They got 2 good running backs, so they're probably going to use Aaron Jones a ton, right? He's going to be, Love's best friend, right around, the slot, doing little different things. And yeah, I really liked what I've seen from Love this preseason.
Yeah, there's quarterbacks struggling, and you're hearing all about that. Love's just he's flying under the radar. So I mean, if you're not hearing anything bad coming out of there, it's good, because no news is good news. So I don't know. They got Watson, they got this Reed. I don't know too much about him, but I keep hearing his name. So with Aaron Jones and Dylan there, those guys, a couple vets that good leaders. I could see Green Bay doing it. Minnesota, I don't know. What's your take on Minnesota?
So on a few tickets lately, I've been putting Minnesota on my division winner tickets. They're paying $380. I took them last year on my big $100,000 paying ticket, and they came through. Unfortunately, there was a few others that didn't come through, which nullified the ticket. But this year they're paying $380. I think last year was $375 or $4. Detroit's paying $230. Bears and the Packers are paying 5 times the wager.
Yeah, the Packers, I don't know. Like, what do you think of Detroit? Do you think they're a little too high on Detroit? Like, I think what I think is this division's going to be a lot closer, like real close, beginning to end. Yeah.
So the value right here is either on Minnesota, or like if you truly believe in the young offense of Green Bay, 5 times your wager there.
Yeah.
And maybe you parlay this with another long shot division winner, like I was saying, like the Steelers, which is paying almost 6 times the wager.
Yeah, the Steelers, I mean, as long shot as they are, it's reasonable. Like, there's nothing crazy about them winning that division.
But Steelers have been known to win games with their defense, right? You need to play good on both sides of the ball. And I've really liked what I've seen from the Steelers this preseason. The Steelers, the Packers, and the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, the Commanders, they like totally new identity under Bieniemy. I mean, at the start it was all Everybody, they're soft because they're saying Bieniemy's running them too hard or whatever. But it seems like they've taken to it after those comments, and it kind of galvanized the team, and they're pretty solid, and they're just rolling now. Like Howell looks like a beast.
Yeah, I think adding Bieniemy to the coaching staff is going to provide a huge bolster to that whole organization. Like, no more Wentz. You got a capable guy who looks like Howell is that guy. You got Jahan Dotson, who had a pretty damn good rookie season last year, under the radar. You got Terry McLaurin, who's, I think he's the 2 1,000-yard seasons in the books, 2 or 3. And you got a couple running backs there that are capable as well, right?
Yeah, and what's his name there? Antonio Gibson. That's their McKinnon. Like, and look at McKinnon down the stretch last year. He was a league, like, people use the term too much, but he was a legitimate in fantasy. He was a league winner, McKinnon.
He's kind of got the same stature, Gibson, as McKinnon too. Like, I could see them running Brian Robertson between the tackles, and then McKinnon those little dump offs to Gibson, right?
Yeah, I that offense is gonna score, I think, and then I heard too. It's like worst case, you look at the head coach there. He's like, if they don't do good, he's out this year, and Bieniemy's the head coach. So, if Howell struggles, Brissett might end up in there too. So it's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, I could see giving the coach Riverboat Ron there one more season to get things together, or maybe they'll give him a couple years with Bieniemy.
Yeah, Riverboat Ron. That's right. I couldn't remember the name for the life of me. Yeah, Riverboat.
Where it gets a little tough for me picking division winners is the NFC South. We have the Saints at 210, Atlanta at 320, Panthers at 5, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers paying 9 times.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, today you sent that thing and it showed the Panthers in the playoffs. Every year there's a couple surprise teams that get in there and a couple teams flop. The Panthers they're building a little something going on there. They got Thielen. He's he's 31 or whatever his age is, but he's a good possession receiver. They got. I like that team.
For me, it's between the Saints and the Falcons, and I want to take the Falcons at 320.
Yeah.
Are they ready to take that next step?
Well, they better be, because if not, the coach is out. I think with Ritter's got his weapons. He's got his running back in Bijan. He's got a tight end. He's got a great receiver. I mean, besides London, a lot of the guys kind of unknowns. There's one guy that they're pretty high on, that Max Hollins. Like, he's pretty good. I remember him on the Raiders. The defense, they've put some money. They've invested in their defense, and their offensive line is top 3 in the NFL. So,
yeah, they've definitely been building that O-line, and I think it's ready for Mr. Bijan to have a 1,000-yard plus season on the ground.
Yeah, your O-line, your O-line's huge in your running game, and that's what they want to do is run. So between Bijan and even Tyler Algier, Tyler Algier went over 1,000 yards last year, and he didn't get much touches in the early going. So it's I wouldn't be surprised. Those guys just get a lead and run the clock and win games low scoring.
If you had to pick a division winner in the NFC West, who would you be going with?
I'd be going Fran.
They're paying $1.57, basically the lowest paying team of their division. The Chiefs are 162 in their division, but yeah. So you got the 49ers at 157. We got the Seahawks, the 9-8 Seahawks from last year at 320. The Rams at 10-1, and Arizona, well, they're playing for next year.
Yeah, they're fire sealing. Yeah.
Would you trust taking the Seattle Seahawks?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty big on, Geno Smith had a great year last year, but I need to see more than 1 year. Like 1 year just doesn't cut it for me. I need to see some consistency, and I don't know. Like they got some good players, but
it's such a gamble. Like if you were to take Seattle, you definitely like how their draft went. They got Jackson Smith, the wide receiver there. They got Charbonnet, a capable RB2. I know they're going to use him a lot in the offense this year too.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, second full year for Geno Smith under Pete Carroll.
Yeah, so it's tough to say. And I mean, to me, Kenneth Walker's great. He's better than Charbonnet, but what he's showing me, Kenneth Walker is almost like a Rashad Penny. He's great, but he can't stay healthy. But then you got to look at in that division who the other teams are. So the Cardinals, they should win those two. The Rams, they should win those 2 games as well. So that's 4 wins right there. If they can split with San Fran, then I don't know the rest of their schedule, but they might win the division. It's tough.
Maybe I'll end up taking Seahawks on a long shot ticket.
Yeah.
But I think I do tend to lean towards San Francisco. Just the weapons. I think Ayuk is going to take another step. Kittle. They got Debo, Christian McCaffrey. Like just so many weapons. Eli Mitchell is another capable back if CMC gets hurt.
Yeah, they're ridiculously loaded. It's not in San Fran. I think Ayuk's better than Debo. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like he is. Yeah.
Let me get your opinion on.
Hold on, I have one for you here. Let me get your opinion on something here.
Yeah,
the AFC West. How do you feel about that AFC West?
Chiefs.
You think the Chargers are gonna, like with the new OC and whatnot, you think it's gonna be closer or no?
So last year I had the Chargers on my big 100K division winning ticket. I thought they were going to take the step. So they didn't. And is it basically just postponed to this season? So I'm just going to stick with the Chiefs on my tickets. I have the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to lean towards the Chiefs to win the division. Because just Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, as long as those two guys are together, I think the sky's the limit, man. I really do.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the Chargers, I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't think they really did much to like bolster their team or, take a step.
Honestly, I was really disappointed in the Chargers last year. I expected them to put up a little bit better fight on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I did too. They spent money. Herbert, I don't know, he just kind of was stale. Like he didn't take a step forward. So.
Okay,
yeah.
Here's what I got for you. Where is it? I think I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to pose a couple questions to you. Offensive Player of the Year, futures. So I'm thinking my strategy here is sprinkling a few bucks on your top 3, and then maybe you hit on one of them, and the profits obviously outweigh what you bet on the 3 or 4 that you sprinkled on. So Offensive Player of the Year, I'm thinking Jalen Waddle 61-1.
Crazy.
AJ Brown 51-1.
Which site are you checking out?
So these are all odds off of Bet365. Pretty much the best odds in the game, I've noticed. They're very reasonable.
Yeah, I like this site.
Calvin Ridley 81-1. I mean, if you really do think Pittsburgh's going to have a good season, Najee Harris 101-1. Kenny Pickett 126-1 for Offensive Player of the Year.
Well, the thing is with this It's like, these guys see the names, and obviously, like, a guy can put up a crazy stat line. Like, Chubb could go for a crazy amount of yards, but if the team success affects it too, right? So it makes it a little tricky at the same time, I think.
Okay, we're swinging right over to. I'm looking for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Where are we going?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm on here now. Yeah.
Just looking for it. Oh, there we go. Okay, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Obviously, Bijan's at the top, 375.
Yeah.
I like Jordan Addison at 17-1.
I like that too, because Jefferson's going to be getting double teamed, and yeah, that's a good bet.
Yeah, I think there's some value there. Jefferson's gonna, keep a lot of the defense watch their eyes on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Addison showed his speed in the preseason. Very excited. I think this offense is gonna have. I think this offense is gonna have struggle running the ball out the gate. Out the gate. I just think the departure of Cook is not the greatest thing for this team. And I think Kirk is going to have to do a lot. I think Kirk is going to be throwing the ball just as many times as Burrow. Like, just
I agree with you.
You got Hawk, you got Jefferson, you got Addison, you got Madison catching passes, KJ Osborne. There's capable guys across the field, right? So I just think maybe, like, there could be an opportunity for Minnesota to have two top 10 wide receivers on their team.
I think so too. You don't think Bijan will be you don't think Bijan for Rookie of the Year? No?
I mean, probably going to come down to touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, this is a dart throw. I also like, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Here's one. You probably don't even know I'm coming out with this one. Deuce Vaughn, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 67-1.
You gonna put some money on that? Or?
So I think he's gonna be returning punts, but I also think they're gonna use him in certain situations, and I see a scenario that's worth a sprinkle at 67-1, where this guy vultures goal line TDs from Pollard. Maybe he hits double-digit TDs, and that sneaky little shit could be Offensive Rookie of the Year, man.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to put, $5 on it. If they're watching Darren Sproles tape, well, hey, you never know. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting players here.
I also like Dalton Kincaid at 34-1. Buffalo didn't really add any pass catchers in the draft besides the first round capital of Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
I think Kincaid and Dawson Knox are going to eat in that offense. And then you're getting some value here at 34-1, Offensive Rookie of the Year with a high octane passing offense.
Yeah, it's possible, but my whole thing is Knox, what they pay him, he's not going to disappear, and I don't think Kincaid's going to eat into Knox's target share enough to be a Rookie of the Year, but never know. There's so many variables, injuries, and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I also like Tank Bigsby at 41-1. I think ETN can be successful, but I really did like what I saw from Tank Bigsby during the preseason.
I didn't see any highlights from him, but all the word and stuff, it sounds like he's good. He's the real deal from the sounds of it. Oh, yeah, it'll be interesting. That's for sure.
And then I'm going to hit you up with most rushing TDs. Chubb is the favorite at 850. I see value with Mixon at 21-1.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Dillon 51-1. Dalvin Cook 51-1. There's even Zeke, a little sprinkle on Zeke 61-1.
61-1, eh?
Yeah, we're looking for most rushing TDs. Most rushing TDs.
I think Zeke is a good bet because that's how Belichick runs it. He's got his guy, and then he gets down to within a few yards, and he pounds it. Like LeGarrette Blount, what was it, or Stephen Ridley a few years ago. He had, 10 or 12 touchdowns. Like, nobody thinks of Stephen Ridley. That's how he runs it. That's how Belichick does his thing. He's got that one goal line guy. So
Yeah.
Zeke, that's Zeke's specialty.
Zeke is almost like the Blunt of this year's offense.
Yeah, because last year I think it was Damian Harris who was kind of the Blunt, and he only had 5 touchdowns. So Belichick wants to, step it up a bit, and he went and got Elliott. So I think Elliott would be a good bet. Put a couple bucks on there.
In comparison, Ramondre Stevenson is 29-1 for most rushing TDs. Zeke, you're getting over twice the value.
Yeah, I'd put my money on Zeke.
Some nice upside there.
Yeah, Houston, he'll do the dirty work, and then Zeke will just punch it in.
So yeah, anything else you want to touch on?
I don't know. Right now, that's about it. I mean, this week should be interesting with all the releases and stuff. Guys getting released. I don't know, the one guy today, James Robinson. I mean, kind of mind blowing that he had that great year in Jacksonville. Then they brought in Etienne, and Robinson moved around. It kind of makes me wonder, there must be something with him that he just keeps jumping around.
Maybe that was the peak of his career. That one season there where he basically was a league winner.
It's quite possible because it reminds me of Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay ran for the 1,000 yards, no respect, and next thing you know, he's out of the league now.
Didn't Philip do it 2 years in a row? 1,000?
I think he was close. I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Now he's just kind of out of the league. Crazy how quickly they just they love you and they let you go.
Most receptions regular season. Who you got?
I think Chris Olave, Keenan Allen, or T. Higgins. One of the three.
Let me see.
And yourself?
Let me see. T. Higgins 67-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Those guys are just kind of possession receivers, to me.
What if...
I don't know.
Man, there's some value at the receptions. How many targets is George Pickens going to see? He's 76-1.
76-1. Huh. Yeah, it's hard to say because I know Najee, he was getting a lot of receptions out of the backfield there, and yeah, it's tough to say. I think Keenan Allen with Herbert, that's a security blanket. Always looking to him.
Yeah, both Keenan Allen and Garrett Wilson are 23-1.
Even Garrett Wilson, that 23-1. That's some good odds there.
Yeah, in comparison, Tyreek is 12-1, Kelsey 12-1, Cooper Kupp 8-1, Chase 9-1, JJ 6-1.
Yeah, Cooper, that's a good odds too, though. If Stafford can stay healthy all year.
Most passing yards regular season. Oh, these are just overs or unders. Never mind. We'll stay away from that.
Over unders, yeah, that's tough stuff. I heard who's over under? Is it Waller? I heard Waller's over under is pretty low.
I'll have to peek. Let's see. Actually, let's see Waller. Let's find one here. Darren Waller 11-1 for 10 plus receiving touchdowns. What do you think of that?
That's quite a bit, but I can see it. I mean, seems like they're trying to feature him this year. Like he's the best receiver. So I can see that. How do you feel about that?
I'm pretty high on him this season, but I don't know if I'll partake in that particular future.
Yeah, I guess Saquon's there and healthy too. Like, yeah. But for yards total, I think Waller was like 700 something yards. Like, that's total over.
Yeah, so Jordan Addison is favored to lead the league in rookie receiving yards.
Really?
Yeah, just slightly over Zay Flowers.
I'd take that bet. I don't know about OBJ there. I think Flowers is kind of going to be brought along slowly.
Lots of mouths to feed and on a run-first team over there.
Yeah. I mean, Flowers look good in preseason, but preseason, yeah, they'll bring him along slowly and then kind of go from there. That's what I think. Yes, sir. But I mean, these couple weeks here before the season starts, it'll be interesting to see what goes on here. Who gets moved, who gets cut, and whatnot. So.
Yeah, we have one less week of preseason, but a pretty big waiver wire week for our fantasy leagues.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge week, definitely.
Actually, that would be two more waiver weeks. We got this Wednesday usually for most leagues, and then the week after the Wednesday before the Thursday Kansas City Chiefs Detroit Lions game.
That's right.
So don't be like Kevin, where you spend all of your waiver bucks on during the first week of preseason.
That guy's wild, but you know what? Sometimes those are the things where later on in the year, it's like, oh, I wish I did that myself, right?
I did. So he grabbed Aiden O'Connell in our high stakes auction keeper. He grabbed him for $50 there. So I grabbed Aiden O'Connell in a dynasty for $1.
For $1?
Yeah, no one else bid on him. I guess everybody's just being lazy. And I also have Derek Carr. So Derek Carr left Vegas, got shunned by Vegas, and then so it just made sense for me to scoop up Aiden O'Connell. I also have Devontae Adams on that team, so it was an easy dollar spent.
Yeah, and O'Connell's going to get a chance for sure.
Yeah, if you look at Garoppolo's history, he barely plays half a season every season. He's always injuring something.
Yeah, so it's only a matter of time. And what's your take on Trey Lance, the trade, and how you feel about Trey Lance in general?
I kind of seen this thing happening in camp, like just Darnell just being a little more efficient in the preseason games and practices. And I guess they just decided to cut ties now, and they got a fourth rounder out of it.
Yeah.
They did pay a lot of capital to get Trey Lance. They paid him $27 million, 3 first-round picks to get him, and to have him for those 200 snaps he played or whatever.
Yeah.
I like the move for the Cowboys, especially. You got a potential dual threat quarterback for a fourth rounder.
Yeah, there's not much risk there, really.
So Dak is on contract for what, 2 more seasons, I believe. I think it's 2.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
And then you can start to develop. Although Will Greer just tore it up in preseason yesterday. I think it was 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, I saw that, but somebody said, and I don't know if this is true, that they gave him, because he played the whole game, they told him basically, you're cut after this game, but we're going to play you the whole game so you can kind of showcase yourself for other teams.
You know what? I did read something about that. I can't remember what quarterback it was about, but if you say it was about Will Greer, so yeah, they're gonna cut him. But here's your last start with our team.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll have to look into that. I think that was Will Greer. But what a way to go out and showcase your skills before moving on.
Oh yeah, he'll get on somewhere else, definitely. Yeah. Right on, man. Well, yeah, I don't know. It'll be a lot of wait and see what goes on. A bunch of guys that's going to get signed if they're getting signed, like Fournette, Hunt, and whatnot. So it'll be between now and the start of this season. There's gonna be a lot of moves made.
I think Kareem Hunt's going to end up in Minnesota.
Yeah, or the Colts. I don't know which one yet, but
I know you don't want to see him in Minnesota. Neither do I. Like from a fantasy perspective, because I have Madison in a few dynasties, and that would totally just mess it up. But from a team perspective, from a division winning perspective, it makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the Minnesota Vikings schedule, and it's top heavy. The first 5 or 6 games are not going to be easy. So.
Oh yeah, since they won the division, so now they got some hard hitters.
It's not easy. The Chiefs are in there too. It's rough. So every game counts. Yeah, I think Kareem Hunt ends up in Minnesota. So.
Yeah, it might be like a desperation sign. Like after week 1, they're like, "Oh, we need Hunt," but
yeah,
I'd like to see him as
like a stat line from Madison, like 10 rushes, 11 yards after week 1, and they're just no one else does anything. What is it? Danny McBride and Ty Chandler, the backups.
Yeah, and that Kwangu or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Is it Keen Okugun?
Yeah.
I don't know if I pronounced that right. Feel free to correct me, anybody. But yeah, that's just that whole room is just unproven right now.
Yeah, I mean Madison, he had a couple starts there for Cook. He looked already nothing crazy like off the charts, but better than serviceable. But he's been banged up a few times himself, so.
I guess if something just came up to me, if you want to be aggressive, pick Miami to win the division, pick the Steelers on that same ticket, pick Green Bay on the same ticket, and if you really want to be bold, I don't know if you can hit all of these, but pick the Giants at 8-1. They're supposed. I could see the Giants taking another step forward, but how about that for a long shot ticket? Maybe Jonathan Taylor goes to Miami and bolsters those odds immediately.
That would be a nice ticket, though, if it hit. Then you know what? It's not too far fetched. Like as much as you're saying long shot, it's not that far fetched.
No, this is my favorite form of lottery, people. I'd rather than chase some government lotto money, I would rather invest it in sports. Not saying sports is not influenced or hindered by moving components such as the refs or the mafia, but you get to watch the product, you get to see it, you get to hear from them. They're humans. I like that long shot, long season ticket try to bolster the currency in my bank account.
Yeah, better way than buying tickets and waiting for numbers to hit. 100%.
But yeah, should we call it an episode, Colonel?
I think so.
Are you making a trade? Are you making a trade with Gino?
No, I don't think anything's happening.
Are you really putting Aaron Jones on the block?
Mm-hmm. Legitimate.
Are you
putting him out there?
Are you looking for something in general, or just putting him out there?
Looking for a receiver and a running back. I know people right now, they drafted their team. People are happy with what they have. So before the season starts, you're not going to see too much movement. But yeah, a nice receiver, maybe just a serviceable running back. Nothing too wild. So see where that goes.
I saw you grabbing Aaron Jones in the draft, and I let you have him. I chose to buy low on Dylan at $3 in the auction draft, and then I bought Dubes for like $1, I think, something like that, $1 or $2. But because I have the Jordan Love as my QB2 along with Burrow, but yeah, I let you have Jones, so it'll be interesting to see if Jones stays next season. I don't think he does stay, and then which back performs better this year as well.
Well, it's going to be the split for their touches was pretty close. I think it's going to be pretty much the same thing this year. I was looking at your roster in KB1 there, and I'm, AJ Dillon, but I don't know. Like, as handcuffs, he's probably the best one in the NFL. So, I mean,
yeah,
there's nothing that I could offer you. So.
Yeah, if that offense is going to be as good as we think it could be, he's probably the best. Could be the best RB2 could be the polar to Zeke, right? As far as this year is concerned.
Yeah, he's a great handcuff, and a lot of times, he's a goal line guy. So
yeah, and there is that option next year. I'm looking way too far, but I did score Dylan for $3. If Aaron Jones does leave next year, I can keep Jones for $6. We add $3 to our keepers there. I mean, there's potential value building with that offense, is what I'm just trying to say.
Yeah, as much as you're playing for the year, you almost got to look ahead too and pick a couple guys, a guy or two you're going to sit on and watch how they kind of grow and what happens or what doesn't happen. So.
Yeah. So stoked for football, dude. I guess I will be talking to you later this week. Thursday is our best ball draft.
All right, I'll be there.
And then I'll see you in all the waivers on Wednesday night, I guess, as well. Waivers are always fun.
All right. Oh, definitely. See what everybody else picks. You see a guy getting picked, say, "Oh, I didn't know he was on waivers." So.
And I guess we'll have to, since the audio and the clarity here is pretty good. Colonel is calling from Is it Alberta you're in right now?
Yeah, I'm just in Leduc, in South Edmonton.
Yeah, this is not too bad. I can work with this. So maybe we'll have you on the pod in a few weeks into the season.
All right, sounds good. Anytime. I'm down to do this. It's a good time.
All right, buddy. This is the longest episode of the season. We're just about to touch 50 minutes. So I think the boys will appreciate this episode, and I think there's some good stuff in here.
I agree. Good time. Good chat.
All right, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Okay, have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Ciao. So, guys, that's Matty P. I'm signing out. Two Canadians Football Podcast. Tune in a couple days. We will have another episode for you. Everybody be good to each other. Talk soon.